Hey everyone, Charting Man Dan from ChartGuys.com. You know, behind every single video that we put out every single day, there's a wonderful community of traders that we want to invite you to be a part of. Try the free 7-day trial and gain access to our live market broadcasts every morning and afternoon, interact with hundreds of like-minded traders, or take part in one of our dedicated chat rooms, each led by an analyst that's there to answer your questions in real time. Our trial is risk-free with absolutely no commitment or credit card required to experience the TCG community. For those looking for a head start in technical analysis, check out our entries and exits course in the link below in the description. Get up to speed with the fundamentals of TCG technical analysis and experience over 5 hours of great community-driven trading education. Hey everybody, looking at SPY IWM and QQQ on the daily and the weekly time frame. So I keep saying the SPY bulls need to prove it, and they proved it today. The volume is there behind the bull move. We've got the close over the moving average resistances. So this isn't a clear bull break in terms of breaking this lower high pattern that we've been in for the past 6 weeks, but it does give the bulls a lot of wiggle room, and it does give momentum in their favor. So what I am watching right now is our higher lows of 231.61. Now this higher low is a lot more likely to hold for at least the time being, 232.51, but we still have this lower high pattern to be watching. I'm looking at resistance of 237.39 and now 235.84, and I actually want to draw this downtrend line again. Haven't had to look at it for a while because it has not been relevant, but here we come. And that resistance level potentially going to be tested tomorrow. So the bulls are in control of the short-term momentum. It was a really strong day. Tech sector strong. Financial sector had a big bounce. And we have momentum for the bulls watching this MACD for a potential bull cross. The RSI back over 50 to the upside. So a good day for the bulls. Now we have this downtrend resistance line to deal with. You can see these Bollinger Bands are tight as well. This lower Bollinger Band has pretty much been acting as support. We've closed below it a couple times, but very quickly recovered it the next day. And the upper Bollinger Band resistance rejected the all-time high, and then the FOMC reaction after that all-time high. So these Bollinger Bands have pretty much been dictating the range, and they are still tight. So we'll see if they begin to expand a bit and create some more room for the bulls to continue the upside. But this downtrend resistance line is the next level to be watching. Weekly time frame, after a very weak end of the last week, it was a complete turnaround this week, and it's pretty much the best case scenario for the bulls heading into this week. It did look pretty dismal as we closed at the low, and we had a lot of bear momentum to the downside, but bulls recovering here. It is an inside bar on the weekly time frame. We'll be watching that next week if we do remain within it as we close this week. We're fending off this bearish TCG cross at the time being. The 4 period has not crossed the 8 period to the downside, even though that bearish MACD cross has already occurred. And this middle Bollinger Band is going to come into play as we are trading fairly sideways, and it has been catching up over the past month. And that level is going to be around 230, right just under 232 to start next week. IWM, bulls confirming their strength as well. We had a double top at 136.92 and 136.96, and this is a chart where people they don't like technical analysis, they don't believe in it. This would be a good example for them, and that's just because, admittedly, obviously technical analysis doesn't work all the time, and there are fake outs and all that we need to be aware of. And this is one chart where we had, again, it was the end of last week that we looked extremely weak. We closed down at the lows, we broke this little higher low, and it looked like the bears were about to take over. It was on increasing bear volume, and then to start this week, it's been nothing but increasing volume and a move to the upside and breaking the lower highs. So the bulls have made a full recovery, and they're staying within the higher low pattern. We did set a new higher low, but it was on the verge of a breakdown, and it looked like a bear break had occurred, and technically I would call that a bear break, and now we've made a bull break. So that does happen, obviously not ideal in terms of trading, but we need to be aware of these key levels and watch and be able to shift and pivot. That's one of the most important things that a trader can do, is to be able to completely change their mindset, realize they were wrong, and switch to the other direction, and be able to pivot and react to changing market environments really on the turn of a dime here. So on the weekly time frame, we are getting back over these moving average resistances. With the strong end of the week here, we'll see how tomorrow goes, but as of right now, we are keeping the bulls in control. And again, watching this line, you put your support line right there at 132.60 or so, and we have bounced off this support line about a half dozen times and still maintaining it. So that is a key level to be watching going forward. If that were to break, there's a lot of space to the downside because of how quickly we moved up, but it is still holding, keeping the bulls in control. And you can see how tight these Bollinger Bands are on the weekly time frame here on IWM. QQQ increasing bull volume, loving that tech strength, and we just got the all-time high here, 133.48. We got up to 132.88, so that is the only resistance that we have left. Upper Bollinger Band is ascending, creating room on the verge of a bullish MACD cross, and the weekly time frame after closing right at those exponential supports, now seeing the bulls maintain them and fend off this bearish MACD cross, fend off the bearish TCG cross. QQQ is very clearly still the strongest name out of the three and continuing to perform. So as of right now, heading into the end of this week, the bulls have momentum into tomorrow. We know they've been really strong on the weekly time frame. We know consolidation has been needed. This is some pretty sufficient consolidation, and you could make the argument that this is a bull flag of consolidation. And if you were to look at it on the monthly time frame, it would look a little bit more condensed. So let's do that real quick. Monthly bull flag pattern, and it's actually an inside candlestick, so it's not a bull flag pattern. It's more of a pennant or a triangle, depending on if you zoomed in. So we're watching to see if we get continuation to the upside, and it's not too far away from a new all-time high, a few percentage points, and obviously still some resistance levels to go after. But long-term, bulls never lost it. We were just looking for short-term consolidation. We did get some, and it's up to the bulls now to break this lower high pattern. If we can break this high in the 237s, then we're going to be looking at a new all-time high. So it's a pretty important next couple of weeks we have coming up, and we are ending this week with some bull momentum for the time being. So I appreciate you watching, and we will check back in over the weekend to see how we did close this week out and see how the bulls reacted to this downtrend resistance line. Keep an eye on that tech sector because QQQ, XLK, Facebook new all-time high, so many tech names seeing so much strength still. Thanks again. See you soon.